The Recovery Kernel. Damage Assessment and Life Restructuring Series. Full Inventory. A complete audit of what substance use cost. And a structured plan to build something better than what was lost. How to use this guide, read this first. Classical Building the Centurion, the first honest accounting. Not to punish. To know. This guide is a structured audit. It covers every domain that substance use affects: physical health, cognitive function, personality, finances, relationships, occupation, legal standing, and identity. For each domain it provides a method for assessing the current damage, a baseline target, and a specific protocol for rebuilding. The sequence matters. Do not skip to the financial section because it feels most urgent. Do not skip to the cognitive tests because they feel most interesting. Work through the assessment sections first. The damage in one domain has implications for every other domain. You cannot build a reliable financial plan if you have not assessed the cognitive impairment that is affecting your decision-making. You cannot rebuild relationships if you have not assessed the personality changes the substance produced. The word enhanced baseline is not optimism. It is precision. The person who completes this guide and implements its protocols will have, within 90 to 180 days, a level of self-knowledge, biological optimization, and structural life architecture that most people who were never addicted do not possess. The addiction was the most expensive education available. This guide makes sure it produced a return. Part 1, the full inventory. What was lost, what was damaged, what can be rebuilt? Section 1, Damage Audit by Domain. Complete each domain assessment before moving to the next. Score each domain 0 to 10 o'clock equals catastrophic damage, 5 equals moderate damage with partial function, 10 equals no damage detected. Record your scores. They become the baseline for the 180-day plan. 1.1, Physical Health Audit. Physical Health Domain Score, 0 to 10 ________________________ Most urgent physical item requiring physician attention, ________________________ 1.2, Substance-Specific Physical Damage Profile. Identify your primary substances and note the specific damage profiles that apply. These are the known physical consequences per substance, not a guarantee, but a priority list for medical attention. Section 2, the Cognitive Testing Battery. Classical Building the Centurion, you cannot rebuild what you have not measured. These tests are the baseline. The following tests can be self-administered or administered by a trusted person. They are standardized assessments used clinically to detect cognitive impairment. Complete them once now to establish your recovery baseline. Repeat at 30, 90, and 180 days. The improvement across those measurements is one of the most motivating data points in the recovery process. Warning: these tests are screening tools, not diagnostic instruments. If scores indicate significant impairment, request a formal neuropsychological evaluation from a clinical psychologist. Insurance typically covers this when there is a documented substance use history. 2.1, the MoCA Self-Assessment, Montreal Cognitive Assessment. The MoCA is the most widely used brief cognitive assessment in clinical practice. Full version available free at mocacognition.com. It tests 7 domains in 10 to 15 minutes. Administer it at a time when you have slept adequately and are not acutely stressed or intoxicated. Total MoCA score interpretation, 26 to 30, normal cognition. 18 to 25, mild cognitive impairment, common in early recovery, often fully reversible. Below 18, significant impairment, formal neuropsychological evaluation is indicated. My MoCA score today, _____________/30 date, _______________________________________________________________________________________________________________ Working memory is the ability to hold information in mind while using it, the cognitive workspace. It is the first domain impaired by most substances and among the last to fully recover. Test it simply. Digit span forward and backward. Have someone read you each sequence once, at a rate of 1 digit per second. Repeat the sequence immediately after. Go until you fail 2 consecutive sequences of the same length. Normal forward span, 7 plus or minus 2, most adults reach 5 to 9. Below 5 equals significant working memory impairment. Normal backward span, 5 plus or minus 2, most adults reach 3 to 7. Below 3 equals significant impairment. My forward span, my backward span, 2.3, verbal fluency, processing speed plus executive function. Set a timer for 60 seconds. Name as many different animals as you can. Record your count. Then reset, 60 seconds, as many words beginning with the letter F as you can, not names, not the same word twice. Record. Animals in 60 seconds, normal range, 14, 22 plus. F words in 60 seconds, normal range, 12, 20 plus. Below 10 in either category, indicates frontal lobe executive function impairment, flag for neuropsychological evaluation. 2.4, Attention and concentration, serial 7s. Start at 100. Subtract 7. Subtract 7 again. Continue for 5 subtractions. Do this out loud or in writing, do not use a calculator. Do not stop to think for more than 10 seconds per step. Expected sequence, 193 86 79 72 65. All 5 correct and done in under 45 seconds, normal attention. Errors or significant slowing, attention impairment, common in early alcohol recovery and with benzodiazepine history. My result, /5 correct in seconds. 2.5, Executive function, the planning task. Without timing pressure, plan and write out every step required to prepare a simple meal from scratch, for example, scrambled eggs on toast. Be specific, include shopping, preparation, cooking, and serving in sequence. What you are assessing, the ability to break a goal into sequential steps, identify what is needed before each step is possible, and maintain the overall goal while executing subtasks. This is the core executive function impaired by frontal lobe substance damage. Adequate response, 12 plus logical steps in correct sequence with no missing prerequisites. Impaired response, steps out of order, missing critical prerequisites, e.g., forgetting to list obtaining the eggs, or fewer than 8 distinct steps. My step count and self-assessment, ___________________. 2.6, Memory encoding test. Read the following 10 words once, slowly. Wait exactly 5 minutes, do something else. Write down as many as you can remember. Bridge, candle, trumpet, river, hammer, lemon, elephant, clock, mountain, silver. Words recalled, ___________________/10. 8 to 10 words, normal encoding and consolidation. 5 to 7 words, mild to moderate memory impairment. Common with MDMA, alcohol, and benzodiazepine history. Below 5 words, significant memory impairment, formal evaluation warranted. 2.7, Cognitive Domain Summary. Section 3, Personality and Identity Impact Assessment. Classical building the centurion, the substance did not just change your brain chemistry. It changed who you were being. Substance use disorders produce measurable and documented changes to personality traits, values, and identity. These changes are not permanent, but they require explicit acknowledgement and deliberate work to reverse. The person who does not assess this domain will rebuild the financial structure and cognitive function while unconsciously operating from a changed personality that undermines both. 3.1 The Big Five Personality Shift Assessment. The Big Five, Ocean, are the most validated personality dimensions in psychology. Research consistently shows that substance use disorders produce characteristic shifts in these dimensions. Rate yourself as you were before significant substance use and as you are today. Free validated Big Five test, IPIPNEO at ipip.ori.org, take the 120-item version and save your results. Retake at 90 days and 180 days to track personality recovery. 3.2 Values Clarification, What was lost? Addiction progressively narrows values until the substance and its maintenance become the primary organizing value. The values clarification exercise identifies what mattered before and what has been crowded out. 3.3 The Trust Audit. Substance use disorders damage trust, both the trust others had in you and the trust you have in yourself. Both require explicit assessment and explicit rebuilding. Self-trust is often the most damaged and the most critical for recovery sustainability. Part 2, The Financial Triage. Stop the bleeding first. Then rebuild. Section 4, The Financial Triage Protocol. Classical Building the Centurion, this is emergency medicine applied to a financial system in distress. Stop the bleeding first. Financial triage follows the same logic as medical triage, address the immediately life-threatening first, then the serious but non-immediate, then everything else. The financial system of a person in or recently out of a substance use disorder typically has multiple simultaneous bleeds, automatic payments drawing against a near-zero account, credit cards carrying interest, subscriptions that have been ignored, debt that has been accumulating. Stop all automatic payments today. Every single one. Review them one by one and reinstate only what is on the priority list below, in priority order, as cash flow permits. Warning: execute Step 1, stop automatic payments, before reading further. Do it now. Log into your bank account and cancel all automatic withdrawals. Not tomorrow. 4.1, Step 1, stop all automatic payments, today. 4.2, the priority stack, what gets paid first. Every dollar that comes in, from any source, flows through this hierarchy. Nothing above a priority number gets paid before everything below that number is secured. Priority 1, shelter and essential utilities, rent/mortgage, electricity, water, gas. Priority 2, transportation, car payment, car insurance. Priority 3, food, nutritious, purchased, not delivered, not restaurant. Priority 4, communication, basic phone service only. Standard, the smartphone plan that costs $80 to $100 per month is not priority 4 equipment. A basic service plan at $25 to $35 per month, Mint Mobile, Visible, Metro by T-Mobile, provides calls, texts, and sufficient data for job applications, navigation, and communication. Downgrade immediately. Emergency option, if income is below 135% of the federal poverty level, the Lifeline program provides free or heavily subsidized phone service. Apply at lifelinesupport.org. Data for job search, public library Wi-Fi is free and available throughout business hours in every municipality. Job searching, email, and applications can all happen there if data is a cost concern. Priority 5, income generating tools only. The test, does this expense directly enable income in the next 30 days? If yes, it qualifies for priority 5. If no, it waits. Examples that qualify: work boots if construction employment begins. Professional certification renewal if licensing is required for employment. A specific tool required for a specific job. Examples that do not qualify: a gym membership, priority 8 once income stabilizes. A new wardrobe, thrift stores for now. Any upgrade that is about appearance rather than function. Priority 6, medical, life-sustaining medications and appointments only. Life-sustaining medications, buprenorphine, methadone, naltrexone, MAT medications, non-negotiable. Medications for seizure disorders, heart conditions, diabetes, HIV. Mental health medications for conditions that destabilize without them. Defer without harm, elective procedures, non-urgent dental work, cosmetic considerations. These are not priority 6. Free and low-cost resources, FQHCs, federally qualified health centers, provide sliding-scale care at every income level. Needymeds.org for prescription assistance. State Medicaid if not currently enrolled, apply immediately if income qualifies. Priority 7, minimum debt service, only what prevents catastrophic legal consequences. Priority within debt, child support, legal obligation, failure has severe consequences. IRS debt if payment plan is in place. Student loans, income-driven repayment plans reduce payments to zero at very low income, apply immediately. Debt that waits, credit card minimum payments can be negotiated. Contact each credit card company's hardship program. Most will reduce interest rates and minimum payments during documented hardship periods. Debt that can be ignored for now, medical debt, least consequential for credit in most states, least likely to result in immediate legal action. Collection agency debt on old accounts, often uncollectible after statute of limitations. Priority 8, everything else, after 90 days of demonstrated stability. Every expenditure that does not appear in priorities 1 to 7 is deferred. Not forever, until the financial system demonstrates 90 days of stability with priority 1 to 7 fully covered without borrowing. Gym membership, recreation, clothing beyond functional basics, entertainment, social spending, all deferred. This is not punishment. This is the same logic a trauma surgeon applies in the ER, stop the bleeding first, stabilize, then address everything else in order of severity. The financial patient is in trauma. Treat it accordingly. 4.3, the financial damage inventory. Complete this inventory honestly and completely. The act of writing down the full picture, however painful, is the beginning of taking control of it. Unknown debt has no resolution path. Named debt does. Monthly income, all sources $____________. Monthly priority 1 to 7 costs, $________________________________. Monthly surplus or deficit, $__________________________________. Credit score, if known _______________________________. 4.4, free resources to deploy immediately. Part 3, the rebuild. 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 180 days. Section 5, the 30/60/90/180 day restructuring plan. Classical building the centurion, the enhanced baseline is built sequentially. Each phase enables the next. Section 6, cognitive rehabilitation protocols. Classical building the centurion, the brain repairs itself. It needs the right conditions and the right exercises. The cognitive impairment documented in Section 2 is not permanent in most cases. Neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to form new connections and strengthen existing ones, is active throughout recovery, particularly in the first 90 days of abstinence. The following protocols target the specific domains most commonly impaired and most responsive to intervention. Section 7, the enhanced baseline, who you are becoming. Classical building the centurion, the addiction was the most expensive education you have ever had. This is where it produces a return. The enhanced baseline is not a marketing promise. It is a pharmacological and psychological reality for people who complete the recovery work with the recovery kernel's precision. Here is why the enhanced baseline can exceed the pre-addiction baseline. 7.1, the new identity framework. The final and most important section of this guide. Not the supplements, not the financial triage, not the cognitive tests, the question of who the person is becoming. This is the question that, when answered clearly, makes all the other work sustainable. The full inventory, final word. Classical building the centurion, the damage is real. The rebuild is possible. The enhanced baseline is not a promise, it is a plan. The person who completes this guide, the full damage audit, the cognitive baseline, the personality assessment, the financial triage with all automatic payments cancelled and the priority stack implemented, the 30/60/90/180 day plan, the cognitive rehabilitation protocols, and the identity bridge questions, has done something that most clinicians, most treatment programs, and most self-help frameworks do not ask people to do. They have looked at the full picture honestly. The full picture is, what was lost in each domain, measured as precisely as available tools allow. What can be rebuilt in each domain, with the specific protocols that the evidence base supports. What the building blocks are, the genomic profile, the supplement stack, the financial priority stack, the cognitive exercises, the daily structures. And who the person is becoming as the rebuild proceeds. The Recovery Kernel's compendium states the foundational principle: you are not a generic human. The damage you sustained is specific to your biology, your substance, your duration, and your starting baseline. The rebuild you will execute is specific to the same factors. The enhanced baseline you will reach is yours, not someone else's story of recovery, not a statistical average, but the specific, measurable outcome of applying precision self-knowledge to deliberate reconstruction. The inventory is complete. The work begins. Recovery resources, FindTreatment.gov Emergency, 211 Crisis, 988 SAMHSA, 1-800-662-4357. Annual Credit Report, annualcreditreport.com NFCC, nfcc.org Benefits, benefits.gov. Recovery Kernel Compendium Protocols referenced throughout, not a substitute for medical care. Full inventory. The Recovery Kernel Damage Assessment and Life Restructuring Series.